Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're at, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Go Biz Guy, the podcast for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. And so, listen, you need to step into the world of coffee. Roasting is not just a craft, but cherished by family tradition. At Henry's House of Coffee, located in San Francisco's Sunset District, nice district, Harag Karabajin continues his father's legacy that makes it vibrant markets in Lebanon. Of Lebanon. Get it right, Lauren. And with every batch expertly roasted, Henry's offers just not a beverage, but a getaway to a rich history of coffee excellence dating back to 1965. Here, every cup promises a unique blend and culture of quality. For those of you that wish to bring this experience home, you got to visit henryshouseofcoffee.com. henryshouseofcoffee.com. That's a must. Use the coupon, the Go Biz Guy, for $5 discount on your first purchase. Experience what 3 generations of coffee taste like. All right. So listen, having an amazing individual on today. I mean, you know what? When you're getting into business for yourself, there's a lot to contemplate. And Adam has contemplated quite a bit. We're going to get his story and everything. And so I'd like to introduce to you the owner of Estep Sons Cleaning, Maintenance, and Service, LLC, Adam Estep. Adam, welcome aboard. Okay.
Thank you.
You need to turn up your mic. No.
Can you hear me?
I don't know what happened to your sound, man. You were like right there.
Good.
No, I can't.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, exactly.
Can you
I
hear
can
me
hear
now?
you wonderfully now. Okay. Don't move. Okay.
Makes no sense. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Good to be here.
So listen, you know what? I mean, you've been an EMT guy, right? Is that, am I saying that right?
I have.
Okay.
I
What's
worked
the
in
funniest
EMS for
thing you've
10 years.
seen as a EMS guy?
Well, funny enough, the funniest thing I've ever experienced wasn't in EMS. It's working retail. I was working retail one evening at a golf course, and it was me and another gentleman, and we were behind the counter, and we like to play this game when somebody would pull up. Are they eating or are they going to play golf?
Okay.
Because the golf course has a restaurant inside of it. Okay. This gentleman pulls up, gets out of his
Pajama
truck,
pants.
pajama pants, tucked into boots, tucked into his work boots, and he has on this T-shirt that has like a Pokemon on it, and his hair's all greasy and slicked back. And we're like, he's eating. He's not playing at all. He walks in the door, immediately beeline for the clubhouse. And he says, "All right, gentlemen, I got 3 questions for you." I was like, "Okay, shoot." He said, "First question is, do you work on golf carts?" I was like, "No, sir. We lease all of our golf carts. They have a mechanic that comes around and services them. We don't do anything in-house." He's like, "Okay." Second question, can I hunt golf balls? "No, sir. Unfortunately, due to the liability, we can't let you out to hunt golf balls." Third question, like, "Okay. Do you want any
possums?
It's like, I can't say that
How
I do.
crazy is that, man? So he was selling possums? Is that what he was doing? What's the deal? What was his deal? Yeah, but you're back now.
Did I lose you?
All right.
Okay. I guess he thought we might want possums.
Oh my gosh. So there's never a dull moment on the golf course, right? Yeah.
Nope, never a dull moment.
Well,
Working
listen,
retail.
let me ask you a few questions. So you were born and raised in Boyd County or Greenup County?
I was born in Moorhead and raised in Carter County. I moved to Greenup when I got married.
Okay.
I was
All right. Tell me a
21
little bit
years
about
old
your
when I moved to
background
this
as a
area.
child growing up in Moorhead. What was that like? Oh,
So I didn't grow up
okay.
in Moorhead. I grew up in Olive Hill. Um, it was a rough
Okay.
background, like stepdad and so on and so forth. Um, all of our physical needs were met, but again, it was a broken home.
Mm-hmm. So, did your mother basically raise you by herself, or was that like, just FYI,
Um,
as a sidebar, Charles Stanley grew up in a kind of a broken home. His stepdad was an alcoholic. I don't know whether you knew that story or not, but
yeah, I was not aware of that. No, so my mom
okay.
raised me. Um, but stepdad was at home and he lived at home, and it was just one of those things that when he was sober, he was one of the nicest people you would ever meet. But when he was drinking, he was one of the
Oh.
meanest. Um, and that's just kind of the way that it was.
So your mom, what did she do for a living?
So my mom worked at a nursing home
Okay.
as a CNA for many, many years. Then she got hurt and she got her disability. My stepdad was an operator, so he worked away quite a bit, but um, it was trade work, so it was feast or famine. When he
Mm-hmm.
was working, money at home was good, but he might go 6 months and be laid off, and then it's unemployment, and
Right.
unemployment's restricted, and so there were times where things were tight, and then there were times where things were great.
So your mother being a CNA, did that give you an interest to get into the EMT work?
Um, I don't know. I don't know what sparked my interest to get into
Okay.
EMS. I was kind of watching a show one day, and it was following some medics around, and it just clicked. It's like I want to do that, and I started researching, and I found our local training center. And that summer I enrolled, and that fall I
So
went
how
to
long was the
class.
class?
The class was 6 months. It was a
Okay.
semester. It's
And
half a year.
so when you first went on your first ride, how did you get your first job after your training?
Um, so after I graduated, we had to take a test, a nationally registered test to get our card. Once we got our card, I had went around to all of the local ambulance agencies in my area, and I knew
Okay.
that I wanted to work 911. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to work on a 911 truck. So EMS is kind of divided up into two sectors. You have your 911, your county trucks, and then you have your private, which they do like doctor's appointments and long distance transfers, taking people from one hospital to another, and that kind of thing. So I went around to all of my county agencies and I put in my application, and it was the same story at every single one of them. Well, you don't have enough experience. You need experience. Okay, how am I supposed to get experience if nobody will hire me? So I found a place in Ashland, and it was called MTS, and it was a medical transport service, and it was privatized, and they done doctor's appointments, and they hired me on the spot, and I done that for about 2 years, and
Hmm.
then I applied for Lawrence County EMS, which is over in Ohio. It covers all of Lawrence County, and it's the 911 service for Lawrence County. And within like 2 weeks, I got a phone call, had my interview, was hired. Um, Bought my time there and eventually took full
Wow.
time, and I worked there for 8 years and I had a good career and I enjoyed it, but um,
Yeah.
my time in EMS is done. I
Well,
want to build
it's
a future
interesting
for my
because
children.
I was listening to Kiyosaki last night, going to martial arts and coming home a little bit. I think wealth is kind of a misnomer. If we have a career, we're always exchanging time for money, and sometimes it's not really the best way to make money. I mean, because you're always going to be in debt and you're always going to have things. So being in business for yourself is step number one, and step number two is is to kind of turning on a dime and tweaking that and doing everything else like that. So, what led you into starting E-Step Sons and cleaning maintenance services? Hello. Okay, we have silence again, and
Can you hear
yeah,
me?
now I can hear you. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, my wife calls me an envisionary. Anytime I would get interested in like a hobby or something, it's like I want to open a golf shop. I want to open, a fishing
Yeah.
store. I want to do this. I had all of these big
Okay.
dreams, and some things had happened, and I had lost my job. I have an injury, and I was going to work, and I was at that point in my career where I was
Right.
miserable. Like, okay, it's time for a change. And then one day she was at a MOPS meeting, which is Mothers of Preschoolers. It's a
Yeah.
local group of moms that meet up and hang out and drink coffee and eat breakfast and swap stories and different things
Hmm.
like that. And I'm laid in bed, and then she calls me, and I'm like, "Hey, I have an LLC." She said, "What?"
Uh,
It's like, "Yeah, we have
we
a
have a
business."
business. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. So, go ahead.
Um, it's just one of those things that it really wasn't planned for. It just kind of happened.
Well, okay. So let's dive into a little bit and everything else like that because I know you got two sons and so that was kind of a cool thing. So when you told her that you had an LLC, did you tell her the name of it? Did you tell her that we need to talk about it, or did she just like, okay, whatever you want to do, I'm in?
Well, so we had kind of discussed it, and I had mentioned the idea of starting like I knew that I wanted to do something on the side to kind of like build something up for my kids. Uh, so we had kind of discussed it and talked about it, but I think she had the mindset of, oh, this is another one of his visions, and through losing my job, God provided me with the financial means and time to go through with it, and it's something that I done. And I think she was kind of taken back a little bit because she never really thought that it would come to fruition.
Well, that's an amen because I think sometimes when we're put in that position, I've been put in those situations where I've had to turn on a dime because of the loss of a good job or whatever the case might be. But God expects us. He's given us 2 feet. He's given us 2 ears. I mean, not everybody has 2 ears, but He's given everybody the actuality to
Yep.
walk and talk. And so I think we have to be sensitive to those. And then when we get all that stuff together in kind of a box, then we got to shake it all up and move forward. And it's all about the revenue, and how you use that revenue in order to make things happen. And so a wife is kind of a focal point, so that if she like gives thumbs up, that's cool. If she gives thumbs kind of mediocre, because they want to be taken care of, and so. But I can't tell you the number of companies that I've interviewed and the number of people that I've interviewed have been very successful for turning on a dime and making it work. And it's all about the hustle, right? Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yep.
So go ahead.
Absolutely. A little bit of a sales story.
Uh huh.
So,
Amen.
and I have to give all praise to God for this. I've kind of been in the I've just never done it. I never knew how to do it.
Uh huh.
But now that I'm thrown into the fire, it's like I've got to learn. Like this can't fail. I have to do it. And yesterday morning I went out, but before I went out, I sent out a couple cold emails to some prospective businesses that I was looking at, and just kind of introducing my company, what we do, and things that we offer. And so I'm like, I'm going out and I got to sell. I'm going to make 8 hours of it. I'm just going to go out and I'm going to go door to door. And as I'm going door to door, I'm in downtown Ashland. My phone rings, and it's a local nonprofit in this area. And they said, "Yeah, we're responding to an email that you had sent out. We're looking for a cleaning service. We're kind of not satisfied with ours. We were wondering when you could come give us a quote." And I'm like, "I can be there in 5 minutes.
I
I
love
am
it
looking at your building."
right now.
Um, it's just it is one of those things. I was discouraged. I was
Yeah.
down. I was out. I
Hmm.
was nervous. I was scared.
Sure.
And God gave me exactly what I needed when I needed it. And that was a blessing.
It, amen. Because I'll tell you what, man. I mean, he does. He gives us everything that we need when we need it. What but again, he expects us to walk through those doors. And when we're down, and these are entrepreneur stories, okay? Because every entrepreneur goes through struggles. Every entrepreneur goes through downtimes, and every entrepreneur has this doubt. And what's amazing about being a Christian and being an entrepreneur, at least we have Christ to lean on and just say, Jesus, I need your help. Okay. I just, my needs, everything, my thoughts, everything up and down. And so it's pretty cool, but kudos to you for going out and the more, you know, I'm telling you what, man. I mean, you're on the right track, and you need to stay focused on on doing that because your business is going to grow, as we've talked before, through referrals and other things. But the hustle is main thing. You'll overcome the sales thing, so today I went to Subway after I went through the court to get some things done for the will, and I stopped off at the Subway there. And I told him, I said, what's going on with the Subway down on Route 60? And I said, man, there's a cheap looking sign. And I said, I think I know who the owner was. But I said, they said they were having maintenance problems. And I thought, but this store, this particular Subway was immaculate. And so I walk in there, and this lady waits on me and puts my sandwich together. And I start asking them about the business. And then I said, you guys got to be on my podcast. And they said, there's the guy you need to talk to. Okay. So I went over and introduced myself. And so we talked for about 20 minutes. It was kind of like podcast stuff. But I said, I need to get you on. I got some time next week. And he said, tell me a little bit. So anyway, it was pretty cool because that was a cold call, right? And all you have to do is to I thought about you. I thought, well, I should tell him about your cleaning the windows because the windows were clean. Everything was immaculate, and I think that's the goal of a cleaning and maintenance is to make sure that everything is immaculate, so that people will do business with you. And I will go back there. I didn't realize that they were in the business, Subway business, for 26 years. I don't know whether you know Rick Gillum or not, but
I don't.
but I mean, it's amazing. I mean, just to be out and about is pretty cool, isn't it?
It is. And it's funny because yesterday I had the jitters and I was nervous, and then I started doing it, and it's like today I bet I've handed out 100 business cards. It's like I've fallen in love with it, and I'm excited by the
Right.
chase, the
Well,
hunt. And even if I walk in and it's a flop, I walk out with a smile on my face because I got to meet wonderful people.
ex-
And I got to have conversations and introduce myself, and I'm getting out in the community.
well, right on. Because and then hopefully you're taking down some information so you can follow up and follow through. But the bottom line is that we're in the
Absolutely.
people business. You're a people person, okay? So calling on people, doing a thing is all about the people, and it's so cool that you've changed your perspective about it because you will touch people. It's kind of like I don't know how to explain this, but because of my grieving and everything, it seems like people that have lost moms and dads or just lost their spouse, God has put them in front of me, and because I'm going through it, so I think it's good to be out in the public because you do get to know them, and I hope you have a notebook with you so that you can kind of take notes and say this person is this person or whatever. Because the real act of selling is in the follow up and follow through, as you well know, and that's where a lot of people don't
Yep.
capitalize on selling, as they don't follow up and follow through. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been either called on the phone or an email. Hey, nobody called me, man. I mean, I expect them to follow up and follow through. I'll talk to you after you do that thing, right? And so good for you. I mean, that is
Yep.
so cool, and that you're really enjoying that. So what kind of cleaning do you guys offer?
So we do basic janitorial services. That's one thing that we offer. We'll go into a business and basically we'll do the daily cleaning. Some places want us to come in and do it once a
Mm-hmm.
week, do a deep cleaning, just kind of like a reset, and then the employees kind of maintenance it. We do window cleaning, and then we do
Mm-hmm.
like commercial cleaning. We do commercial
So
and residential.
how do you have a Facebook page for E Steps and Sons?
I do have a Facebook page. You can find us. It's East Step and Sons Cleaning and Maintenance Service. We're also on Google, and
I
we
didn't
have a
know that.
website as
What's the
well.
website?
It's East
Okay,
Step
all right,
Sons Cleaning
awesome.
Maintenance.com.
That's good to know.
It's tied to our Google, so if you have trouble finding it, you can always pull up our Google,
Cool. How long have you had the
and
website up?
it'll take you to our website.
Okay,
I've done the website probably a week ago. Um, that was the next
cool.
step in our marketing is
So,
I wanted to get
do
a
you
website up
drive
and out.
people? Like, do you have like, do you have an email list? Do you have like when you text somebody, you say, "Well, okay, here's my website," or how do people get engaged with you?
Um, a lot of it is just over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
They'll call us, we'll call them. I do have some emails that I send out, but the majority of our business is they'll find us on Google or from the cold calling. They'll call us and follow up, or they'll call us and follow up with an email, and then they set up an in-person meeting, and we'll go out and we'll talk. We'll do a quote, we'll give an estimate, and go from there.
So, that's interesting that you're kind of like um, taking the ball and running with it in terms of your company and everything. Where do you want to be in the next 5 years?
Uh, I want to run the area. In the next 5 years, I want to have employees. I want to have company vehicles, and I want to be sustained. I want East Step and Sons vehicles parked outside of every business in the area,
Okay.
cleaning it. Um, my vision is to corner the market, and to run with it because there's really not any big janitorial services in this area. You have people like Stanley Steamers and they do a great
Yep.
job, but they focus on floors. You have people like Dirt Busters, but they're specific, and then you have Serve Pro,
Yes.
and they do like fire
Right.
damage and water and mold removal. You don't have the market's wide open for a janitorial service
Yes.
to come in and to
And I
corner it.
and I would agree with you. I mean, I think even doing residentials. I mean, I was very picky about who came to our house, and I was very picky about how they cleaned the house. And I'm like, I wouldn't white glove them, but I would follow up and say, okay, well, you missed this or you missed that. And sometimes when they had their daughter with them and everything, I'd say,
Absolutely.
if you don't mind, I don't want your daughter back with because she does a terrible job. But I think my daughter in college, she cleaned houses, and she was on the brink of starting a maid service. Okay, I mean she was that successful, and she worked the hours that she wanted to, and she worked for some very wealthy individuals and got to know them, and it was just a joy because bottom line, Adam, we're all in the people business, right? And so I think it's all based on. I mean, you're a people person, and so it's all
Absolutely.
based on how you come across. I mean, the first 5 seconds of you talking to somebody is important. I mean, I know we're not supposed to be like have an ego, but I think we all have a male ego, and we want to do things right. But I think I think having a Christ-centered business is really the joy that surpasses everything. Because I said, it's he gets all the honor and glory. I don't, you know.
Absolutely. And it makes the hard times easier
Hmm.
being centered on Christ and God and knowing that He's got this. He's in control. Um, and it makes the valleys a little brighter.
Yeah, yeah. Because this life is always going to be difficult, and I mean, yeah. There's several huge stories that we probably don't have time for that God, I mean, been nearly bankrupt twice, and it's just the valleys that he's really does a good job in helping us, and so that's pretty cool. So you want to corner the market. So how what's the strategy to do that? What do you think is important for you to corner the market in the next year?
Um, the service we provide, it's got to be impeccable. I have a standard of cleanliness that I hold. Every job I do too, and it's a small town. People talk. Getting our name out there, just meeting people, talking with people, and selling, um, getting clients, and then they're going to start talking and they're going to intermingle, and you have to provide a better service than all of your competitors.
Okay, and so how do you do that? So how do you separate yourself from everybody else? You use a couple adjectives. I've lost you again. So you separate yourself from the competitors, but and you talk about your cleaning is impeccable, but how does so if I have a dirty office and you come and clean it, what's going to separate you from everybody else?
Um, I think the fact that we pride
Okay,
ourselves on your satisfaction really sets us apart. At the end of the day, yes, it's about
sure,
money.
right?
I'm in business to make money, but it's we thrive on your satisfaction, and that really drives us to pay attention to the little like details, like getting the scuffs off the walls. Uh, the really like hard to remove
Thank you.
stuff, we will spend a little extra time on. We really try to go above and beyond and make it look better than it did when we left.
You
And
know,
that's
and and I'll
our
tell you
whole goal.
what, that's spot on because I love the fact that you'll take scuff marks off. I had a problem with clean people come to clean our house and everything is that they didn't dust properly. Okay, I mean, and I stayed pretty busy. I needed you to dust everything, and and the floors that they mopped was not very clean. So they use Fabulosa. It smelled good, but I don't know. So I think you're right on. You have to take different approaches, and I think that's even become and I'll text you a lead after we get off the phone for cleaning. But I think it's important that you let people know what you just told me. Listen, we are a little different. I mean, if you've got scuff marks, if you do this, if you do that, and then you got to be 100% sure, dude, that you do that, right? You can't,
Absolutely. You don't want to make a promise and then not follow through for it. That's
that's
a
a
bad rap.
disaster. And so
Yep.
the revenue stream will come, and it may not come as quickly as you want it to, but if you stay after it, I don't know too many entrepreneurs. Just like I saw Rick Gillum. Okay, he was dressed in shorts. He owned that thing for 26 years, and he was stacking potato chips, talking to customers as they came in and everything. Okay, because I'm a casual observer. I was observing everything, man, and people just loved him. And to see him there, most people that own a Subway or something like that, you don't see the owners, and I think
No.
should you hire people, I think you ought to go in and talk to the owners. You ought to go in and spend more time because again, that'll separate you from so many people. So um, once again, Adam, if you could just kind of tell people like how to find you, and I know I'm going to put this out to a lot of people, but in the Ashland area or whatever, just tell them about how to contact you on several fronts: phone number, website, Facebook, everything. Give you a 5-minute commercial here.
So you can get a hold of us. We're on Facebook under East Step and Sons Cleaning and Maintenance Service. We're also under Google under East Step and Sons Cleaning and Maintenance Service, and the website is East Step Sons Cleaning Maintenance Service.com. If you have trouble finding the website, it is tied to our Google account. If you search cleaning in the Ashland area, we're like number 2 from the top on Google. And you can reach us by phone at 1606
Awesome.
694
Adam,
01.
if you were to give any word of advice, what would it be to somebody wanting to start a company? Amen.
Trust God
Amen.
and walk through the doors he opens.
Thank you. That is spot on. Okay, so listen, for those of you who wish to bring the coffee biz to your home, visit henryshouse.com, henryshouseofcoffee.com. I messed up. henryshouseofcoffee.com. It's a must. Use the coupon code, the Go Biz Guy, for a $5 discount for your first purchase. Experience what 3 generations of coffee roasting tastes like. Adam, have a blessed day. Thank you so much. And just stay as busy as you can, and we'll be talking to you. Thanks so much, bro.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. You too.